15 ridiculous facts that you didn't know were true. Number 1. All humans have an automatic dive reflex. When your face is submerged in cold water or when you hold your breath, your heart slows and your blood vessels narrow to conserve oxygen. All mammals have the diving reflex, including humans. The diving reflex is the body's physiological response to submersion in cold water and includes selectively shutting down parts of the body to conserve energy for survival. The diving reflex is triggered specifically by chilling and wetting the nostrils and face while breath holding and is sustained via neural processing originating in the carotid chemreceptors. Number 2. Ice pops were invented by an 11-year-old by accident. In 1905, an 11-year-old boy named Frank Ipperson left soda powder and water outside overnight with its wooden stirrer still in the cup. The mixture had frozen in the chilly nighttime weather, and so the popsicle was born. He sold the treat around his neighborhood and a nearby amusement park and even patented the recipe. Years later, he changed the name to Popsicle because that's what his kids called their Pop's concoction. Number 3. The British royal family is named after Windsor. You would think Windsor Castle was named after the House of Windsor, but it is the other way around. The royal family changed its name from Saxe-Coburg-Gotha in 1917 so it would sound less German and chose Windsor because they had ties with the English town. Number 4. A dog's sense of smell is so good that it can detect a teaspoon of sugar in 1,000,000 gallons of water, or 2 Olympic-sized pools. A dog's nose is a notoriously sensitive piece of equipment. With up to 300 million olfactory receptors compared to a lousy 5 million, a dog can detect a single teaspoon of sugar dissolved into 1,000,000 gallons of water, the equivalent of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Number 5. Tomatoes are native to the Americas, so there was no such thing as tomato sauce in Italy until at least the 16th century. Tomatoes are native to South America. Several species are still found growing wild in the Andes. Brought to Mexico, tomatoes were domesticated and cultivated there by 500 BC. Columbus and or Cortez brought tomatoes to Europe and the Spanish explorers took them throughout the world. After the Spanish colonization of the Americas, the Spanish distributed the tomato throughout their colonies in the Caribbean. They also took it to the Philippines, from where it spread to Southeast Asia and then the entire Asian continent. The Spanish also brought the tomato to Europe. Number 6. Researchers once turned a live cat into a telephone. Princeton researchers Ernest Weaver and Charles Bray took out a cat's skull and most of its brain to connect the animal to electricity. When they spoke into the cat's ear, the sound could be heard through a phone receiver in another room. The twisted experiment paved the way for cochlear implant developments. Number 7. The tiny polyps that make up coral spawn by releasing eggs and sperm into the water. An entire reef typically releases all at once over about 20 minutes, usually under a full moon. Once a year, on cues from the lunar cycle and the water temperature, entire colonies of coral reefs simultaneously release their tiny eggs and sperm, called gametes, into the ocean. The phenomenon brings to mind an underwater blizzard with billions of colorful flakes cascading in white, yellow, red, and orange. In coral spawning, all of the corals from one species will release their eggs and sperm into the water over about 15 minutes, which rise to the water's surface and are fertilized. This event, which usually happens just once a year for most corals, is one of the most amazing and miraculous events in all of nature. Number 8. You can't visit the world's biggest waterfall, because it's deep underwater in the ocean, between Iceland and Greenland. The flow of the Denmark Strait Cataract is 2,000 times more powerful than Niagara Falls. The world's biggest underwater waterfall is located in the Denmark Strait between Greenland and Iceland. Arctic water from the Greenland Sea drops precipitously into the depths of the slightly less chilly Erminger Sea. Just off the coast of Le Morne, on the island's southwest, Mauritius offers a spectacular illusion. Sand and silt on the ocean floor run off in a way that makes it look like they're pouring down a waterfall, or like the entire island is being sucked down a vast drain. Number 9. The shortest war in history lasted 38 minutes. When the Sultan of British protected Zanzibar died and a new one took over without British approval in 1896, the Brits were not happy. Tension escalated when Sultan Khalid bin Bargash refused to step down, but the British warships spent less than 40 minutes bombarding the palace before Khalid fled, marking their very quick end of the Anglo-Zanzibar War. Number 10. Strawberries are not berries. Neither raspberries and blackberries, according to botanists. True berries stem from one single ovary flower and have 2 or more seeds. Strawberries don't fit that bill, but bananas, kiwis, and watermelon do. Number 11. A single sneeze travels 100 miles per hour and shoots 100,000 germs into the air. Researchers at the University of Bristol assessed the airborne survival of bacteria in aerosol droplets from coughs and sneezes. They found the average sneeze or cough can send around 100,000 contagious germs into the air at speeds up to 100 miles per hour. Number 12. 1/4 of all your bones are located in your feet. There are 26 bones in each foot. That's 52 bones in both feet, out of 206 total bones in your whole body, which is more than 25%. It may sound crazy at first, but think about it. Your feet support your weight and allow you to jump, run, and climb. Those bones and joints also allow your feet to absorb and release energy efficiently. It's one of the reasons humans can outrun any other animal in an endurance race. Number 13. Children of identical twins are genetically siblings, not cousins. Cousins whose parents are identical twins share 25% of their DNA, instead of the usual 12.5%. While full siblings share 50% of their DNA, half siblings share 25%. That's why, though children of identical twins are legally cousins, they are genetically the equivalent of half siblings. Number 14. A cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds. Clouds are not as light and fluffy as they appear. Researchers have found that a single cloud weighs about 1.1 million pounds. How do they know? Well, that number is calculated by taking the water density of a cloud and multiplying it by its volume. Fortunately, the cloud can still float at that weight because the air below it is even heavier. Number 15. A woman with 2 uteruses gave birth to twins less than a month after having a baby. When most people have a baby, they typically wait a little while before even thinking about having another child. But that wasn't an option for one woman in Bangladesh, who unexpectedly gave birth to twins in March 2019, less than a month after having another newborn. The highly unusual circumstance came about because the woman has 2 uteruses and both were able to successfully carry the 3 healthy children to term. However, the mother's doctor did admit, "We were very shocked and surprised. I have never observed something like this before." Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share with your friends. Stay tuned for more videos.